what I want to talk about real quick. What qualifies me to talk about energy healing, or like, why am I so passionate about it? And here's the thing: I have a lot of knowledge, yes, and knowledge is gained through books, learning, and I am a lot self-taught and taught through spirit. I have had mentors, but what truly gives me a difference is I have wisdom. I have hard-earned wisdom through holistic healing and energy healing that literally, I believe in, my doctors agree, most likely saved my life. For those that don't know my story, of what happened with my son and the post-op complications, I guess I need the horrible details, but there was just some traumatic injuries that happened to my reproductive systems, put it that way. And I had severe swellings, infections that followed the surgery. And, I weighed 81 pounds at my worst. And I started using jasmine, not even knowing that jasmine was for the sacral chakra. It's as well for the heart chakra. And this had to do with somebody I knew for 16 years, relationship on and off, that ended up abandoning me, practically leaving me for dead. Hard time. Jasmine's for the heart chakra too. Don't hold hate for this man. I don't associate with him, but I was able to find peace in letting go and closing that chapter in my life, and knowing that oftentimes things like that are a blessing in disguise. So back to the healing aspect of it, I was swelling up to where I looked 4 months pregnant, and so I'll go a little bit detailed. Like, I had a C-section, there was a hidden twin, and it wasn't found on ultrasound. You guys can Google hidden twin to get more details on that. Normally it receives back into the body. It didn't. So there was a small, percent or whatever. And my body finally did pass it. 5 months later, I went into labor, and about 4 months, and was able to pass it out. Now, medically, this has never been documented because nobody lives through it. You die from the E. coli infection you get. And I did have one. I had one throughout the entire pregnancy because, of course, the fetus baby didn't make it at all and was just there with the other baby. And normally when this happens, you lose both babies. My son ended up with a true knot in his umbilical cord, which is where sounds like the umbilical cord ties itself in a knot. And he didn't have a heartbeat, and it was killing him. So that's what happened, why I had a C-section. And so afterwards, obviously they missed that. It got set back up in me. When it had passed, you could clearly tell that whatever it was had been exposed to air, the oxidized blood that had been left, everything. So the remnants of that being my find, that was in February of 2021. I went to doctor after doctor, being gaslit, lied to. I even had labs done, and it took me a year and a half to finally get the reports back. But when I was reporting to the OBGYN, they were telling me that I was psychosomatic. That's nothing off my chart, thanks to my current doctor, who was able to validate my experience. And when I showed her everything and told her what happened, and said, yeah, you shouldn't be alive medically, but here you are. So, I also told her that I utilize holistic healing, and she informed me of the swelling that happens from PTSD from being raised by a narcissist. And so when you have endometriosis and CPTSD, what happens from being raised with somebody by NPD, it literally causes a traumatic brain injury that then dumps cortisol into your body. And that's a stress hormone. And what that does is that causes you to swell if you have any type of inflammatory disease. I also have PCOS, polycystic ovarian cyst syndrome, bullshit. I get cysts in my ovaries and they rupture, and that's why my son was literally not even supposed to be able to be conceived outside of me being on birth control and all of that. So through all of this, I'm using jasmine, I'm meditating, I'm using color therapy as well, and just focusing mostly on the sacral chakra the entire time. I wore orange as much as I could, even into my solar plexus though as well, yellows, but I had to maintain, you don't want to get too, balance in one. So it started getting me into energy healing and aligning through all of them and working into learning all of it. And have I committed all of it to memory? I have ADHD and autism. No, my memory with trauma is not great, but do I just innately know it? Yes. If I'm sitting here trying to teach it, I'm going to have to look at notes. And that's just how it is. If we're carrying on just a common conversation though, it would be nothing for me to remember. Again, fun side effects of trauma. But that being said, that is the wisdom that I gained through that, is it saved my life. The jasmine would reduce the swelling to where I could get through the day. I was able to move around. And I believe that it also gives you rejuvenation and helps give energy and things like that. And also to lift your spirits. And I used other, colored techniques. I used a lot of different holistic modalities combined together throughout all of this. And I knew what I was doing, but I didn't know what I was doing. I was being taught through spirit, by spirit through all of this. I just knew that the doctors weren't listening and nothing was working, and this seemed to relieve it. And so it became regular for me to do. I still to this day burn jasmine 3 times a day in my home. I use jasmine incense, a certain kind that works for me. Essential oils may work for you. I have eczema and I tend to get like rashes by certain oils and stuff on my skin. So it's just not a chance that I wanted to take with putting it on my skin. Now, a lot of people utilize aromatherapy in that way. Nothing wrong with that. Do what you do. Whatever works for you. But for me, it was a combination of all these things that I'm going to be sharing and teaching with you guys. But that is a little bit of my story and my background, where I come from with in regards to why I'm so adamant about color healing and chakra energies and aromatherapies and mindset shifts. The other thing is, had my mindset shift not had already changed prior to the C-section, that had happened a couple of years prior. I'd had my awakening at that point. And I had already been working on my mindset. Had that not happened, I wouldn't have survived. Because even the doctor agreed, a lot of it was sheer determination and the power of my mind refusing to let go and give up on life and leave me something behind. It's amazing the things that our body can overcome, because scientifically and medically, the odds were 0 in my favor. I should not have lived, but I did. It's not why. They saved my son's life. Accidents happen. To the doctors who gaslit me, they know. I told them. And they know. And the fact is, I live in Tennessee, and there is a cap on medical malpractice suits, so it would not be worth the stress and the pain of reliving all of that and all that BS for that. I have the peace of mind and closure, thanks to my doctor, of knowing what happened and knowing what actually helped heal it. And today, I can wear blue jeans. I couldn't do that. I weigh 112 pounds. It's a lot different from 81. And I can truly say I'm a lot happier. And it continues to improve daily.